Good morning to all of you. In the last lecture of electronic circuits, we have learned the common source amplifier with source resistor, as well as we have taken one of the numerical as an example. Now today we have to be take the another example, and this example is based on the common source amplifier circuit with source resistor. Okay. Now you can see in this particular problem that is mentioned here in your slide. Please note down this problem. This is a very important problem, and the diagram is also the same that we have learned in the last lecture. Now in this particular problem you have to be see this is the circuit diagram of common source amplifier with source resistor, and we have to be just find out the small signal voltage gain, and the given parameters are VDD is given here. VDD is 10 volt. VDD is 10 volt. Then R1 is given as 165K. R2 is given as 35K. RS is given as 0.5K. RD is given as 7K. Okay. And VGSQ is also given here. If you have to be seen in this diagram, VGSQ is also given here. VGSQ, and that is given as 1.5 volt. So you do not need to find out the VGSQ, it is already with. So first of all, you have to be calculate the DC parameters, and then at the end you have to be calculate the AC parameters, and you have to find the gain. Okay, just solve this, and the other transistor parameters are also mentioned here. In this case, threshold voltage 0.8 volt, conductance parameter Kn is equal to 1 milliampere per volt square, and the channel length modulation factor lambda is given as a 0. Now problem is very much simple, as like we have solved the problem in the last lecture. Similarly you have to be solved, and one thing is that good here that we have already the VGSQ. So first of all, if you want to calculate, you can calculate VG also, but it is not required now. You have to be first of all calculate the ID. You have to first calculate the IDQ, and then VDSQ. Okay. So DC calculations, first of all, you have to be performed as per the given information. So as I told you that when you have to be solving any numerical, first of all, you have to be assume your transistor is biased in saturation region. When you assume this, your transistor is biased in saturation region, then what happens? It would automatically act as an amplifier. So we are solving the numerical for the amplifier. That's why we have assumed this. And once you have assumed this, your transistor is biased in the saturation region, then you can easily calculate the current, because you would be come to know what is the formula for the current. So here you are going to use the formula of the current is what? IDQ. If you have to be see the formula of current is IDQ, it is equal to capital Kn VGSQ minus KTN whole square. So use this relationship, you have to be easily find out the current. So tell me what is the value of current would become here? First of all, you have to do the DC calculation, and you have to be write the value of the current here. So tell me what is the value of current? Anyone from your side? I am going to unmute you. Please Tell me. Formula is already I have mentioned. So tell me. You can also type on the chat box the value of the current is, or you can speak. I have unmuted to all of you. Tell me. What is the value? Anyone on the chat box? You can also type. See, without solving by yourself, I have already tell you the formula. Already we have gone through this kind of the numerical. Otherwise, it is very difficult to understand the concept. Only one way communication is not enough to learn this subject. You have to make it interactive. So you have to be participate on the learning. And that's why I have told you that be ready with your pen and notebook. This is not a non-technical lecture. It is a technical lecture. You have to be always ready with your pen and notebook and ready to solve the numericals and such kind of the things. 0.49. One has given the answer. Dhananjay Shelke has given the answer. Good. Correct answer. 0.49 milliampere. Anyone else? Okay. Those who would be participate, they would be learn. And those who would be not participate, it is very difficult to understand. Then the syllabus would become bulky and you have to be think that it is very difficult subject. It is a very simple subject if you have to be follow the instructions given by me. Okay. So as per the discussion, I have told you that the formula of the IDQ is capital Kn VGSQ minus Tn whole square. So you would be get this value, and finally you have to be 0.49 milliampere. Okay. So Dhananjay Shelke, congratulations, you have solved this correctly. Now the next step is what? You have to be find out the VDSQ. So for the VDSQ, what you have to be do? We have to be apply the KVL on the output loop. So when you have to apply the KVL on the output loop, then what happens? You have to be write and KVL equation on this particular moment, and where the KVL equation, you have to be apply this KVL equation on this output loop. So VDD minus IDRD minus VDSQ minus IDRS into equal to 0. And when you will be do this, you would be automatically get the value of the VDSQ. Okay. Okay. Pooja Karai. What is the problem? Sanap Susma also solved the correct. Pooja Karale, is any problem? Okay. So tell me, what is the value of VDSQ
Yes,
now?
sir.
You have all the values available with you. VDSQ is equal to what? VDD minus ID RD plus RS. It is a very simple equation. All the values are given. So it would be what? 6.57 volt. Okay. So the answer would become VDD minus ID RD. Okay. Okay. Sorry, here I have little bit. Do not follow this. Just change this value. This is not correct. You have to be also add, because here I have not considered the effect of R. So you have to be okay. Just of all, you have all this solve this. So 10 minus 0.49 into 7 plus 0.5. RS is what? 0.5. So 7.5 K. Okay. Now you have to be solve this particular equation and tell me what is the value of VDSQ is coming. What is the value of VDSQ would become now? after this correction? After this correction, what is the value of VDSQ is coming? RS is 0.5. You have to be consider the effect of this. So what is the value is coming?
6.32.
Yes, correct. 6.32 volt. Okay, correct this value. It is wrong. Huh? Okay, I have missed this RS. 6.32 volt is the VDSQ. 6.32 volt is the VDSQ. Everyone note it down. Now, after calculating the DC parameters, you have to be go for the calculation of. First of all, you have to verify that whatever you have assumed, all this value is correct or not. So, in this case, it is still biased in saturation region or not. You have to be just go with this. Okay. So if you have to see the VDSQ 6.32 volt, it is greater than 1 minus 0.8, 0.24. So it is still biased in the saturation region. Means our assumption is correct. Our circuit is acting as an amplifier. Now you have to be calculate the small signal parameters. So what are the small signal voltage gain? We have to be first find the small signal parameters. In the voltage gain formula, we have to be know there is a factor of transconductance always. So you have to be first find out the transconductance. So what is the value of transconductance is here? What is the value of transconductance would be here? GM is equal to what? GM is equal to twice of K IDQ. Root under twice of K IDQ. So here you have to be see the value of the current would become 1.4 milliampere. Okay. So in this way, you can use the other formulas of GM is also applicable. Okay. Like twice Kn into VGS minus VTN. And from that also you will be get this value 1.4 milliampere per volt. After finding the GM, what do you have to be find out? You have to be find out the output voltage. So output voltage is what? As well as the output resistance. So here, what is the value of small signal output resistance? Tell me. It is very simple formula. You have learned already. R naught is equal to what? 1 upon lambda IDQ. So R naught is equal to 1 upon lambda IDQ. So you have to find out the value of R naught 1 upon lambda IDQ. Here lambda is already 0. So it would become infinity. So this is the R naught is infinite. Now you have to find out the output voltage, that is V naught is equal to ID RD. ID is here GM VGS. Okay. So what is the value of output voltage is here? Minus GM VGS RD. And if you have to be see the input voltage equation, it would be also a little bit modified because of the adding the source resistor. So here VI is not your VGS. It is both are different. So what is the relationship between the VI and VGS? We have already seen in the last lecture. VI is equal to VGS plus GM VGS RS. So your VI is equal to VGS into 1 plus GM RS, or VGS is equal to VI upon 1 plus GM RS. So this is the change would be occur here because of adding of the RS. Your input voltage is a little bit changed. Now you can easily find out the value of output voltage gain. So AB is equal to what? V naught upon VI. So V naught we are very much clear, GM VGS RD, and VI is equal to what? VGS 1 plus GM RS. So VGS would be cancel out. So final formula for the voltage gain is minus GM RD upon 1 plus GM RS. So put up the value of all these parameters, you will be get the value of voltage gain. So what is the values of this all? You have to see. GM is came. RD is given as 7K upon 1 plus. What is the value of GM we have got? Just put up here. What is the value of GM we have got? 1.4 milliampere per volt. 1.4 milliampere per volt. You have to be just put up here and you would be get the value. 1.4 into 0.5. So what is the value is coming? Can anyone tell me? No one has solved it still. What is the value of voltage gain? Just solve it.
Five point
minus 5 point minus 5.76.
seven.
Is it correct?
76.
Yeah, correct. Very good. Those who have solved definitely have done a good job. So this kind of problem would be asked in the examination. So this particular topic, what we have discussed, the analysis of common source amplifier without source resistor and with source resistor, their numericals generally asked. Their derivation would be not asked in the examination. Their numerical based on that topic would be asked. So I have taken one example. So some of the numericals have to be solved by your own, or I would be give you assignment based on this topic. The numerical I would be give you as an assignment. Now we have to move to the next topic, that is frequency response of the amplifier. So here we have to be discuss the frequency response of the common source amplifier, because common source configuration is mostly used in the case of MOSFET based amplifier. And if you have to be see, the voltage gain would be a good value of the common source amplifier. That's why it is mostly preferred for the voltage amplifier. So before going to the actual analysis of that circuit, we have to be see little bit the introductory concept of the frequency response. What is the frequency response? Of generalize any amplifier, it is valid. All amplifier gain factors are function of either signal frequency, because when you have to be apply the AC voltage source to the input of the amplifier, there is some frequency. So it is a function of signal frequency. So these gain factors could be include a voltage gain, could be a current gain, could be a transconductance gain, could be a transresistance gain, because these are the four elements of, or maybe the terminology we have to define for any amplifier. Either it is a voltage amplifier, either it is a current amplifier, either it is a transconductance amplifier or a transresistance amplifier. You will be learn these four types of amplifier in the next chapter in detail, when we have to learn the feedback. Now up to this point we have assumed that signal frequency is high enough that your coupling capacitor and bypass capacitor can be treated as short circuit. So you have to be understood what is the coupling capacitor. The capacitor associated with the voltage source and the gate of the amplifier, and the capacitor associated with the drain terminal and the output. This is the coupling capacitor, input coupling and output coupling. Similarly, the bypass capacitor is connected parallel to the source resistor. So this would be considered as a short circuit, as we have taken the value of signal frequency is like that, it would be considered as a short circuit. At the same time, we assume that the signal frequency is low enough. It is high enough for the coupling and bypass capacitor, so that it would be considered a short circuit. But on the same time, it would be a low enough for the other kind of the capacitors, like a parasitic capacitor, load capacitors, or internal junction capacitor, transistor junction capacitor. So for that capacitor, it would be considered as a low frequency. Same frequency is treated for two types of capacitor at a different level. For coupling and bypass, it would be considered as a high, so it is considered as a short circuit. For the parasitic load and transistor internal junction capacitance, it would be considered as a low frequency enough, so that we can consider as a open circuit. So we have to come how if this is possible. We have to be see through the analysis. The next point. Now this is the basic diagram. This is the basic diagram to represent the frequency response of any amplifier. Either amplifier is made from the BJT, or either it is made from the JFET, or either it is made from the MOSFET. Okay. So if you have to see in the x-axis, what is the in the x-axis is there? In the x-axis we have considered the frequency in hertz, and but also we have to draw this. We have considered the x-axis in the log scale. If we have, I think all of you are familiar with the semi-log graph paper. So in that semi-log graph paper, the one of the axis is nothing but the log scale, where the 10 times the parameter would be increased, like 1, then 10, then 100, then 1000, like this. So this is considered here the x-axis. So here the frequency would be considered in the log scale. Similarly, in the y-axis, what we have considered? We have considered the voltage gain here. There is a different types of gain, current gain, power gain, but here we have to be consider the voltage gain, because we are dealing with a voltage amplifier. But this voltage gain is in the decibel scale. So in the case of voltage gain, normal voltage gain, generally we represent with the AV. So how to convert AV into AV dB means the decibel scale, how we can convert it? 20 log AV is the formula, base 10, log base 10. So when normal voltage gain would be put up in this particular formula, it would be considered as a voltage gain in the decibel scale. Okay. So this would be there two important area where you have to be focused. In the y-axis, the voltage gain in the decibel scale. In the x-axis, the frequency is in the log scale. And after that, you have to be plot this graph. So you have to be see here. There is a three region of the frequency I have divided in this whole graph. There is a, if you have to be see from this point to this point, there is a flat curve is there. Flat curve is there parallel to the x-axis. This is called the mid band gain. Similarly, left hand side of this is region. This is called the low frequency region. Here, when you have to move from the mid band to the low frequency range, your gain would be start to decrease. Okay, toward the zero. Similarly, when you have to be moved from the right hand side of this mid band gain, again your gain would be start with the frequency, and this is called the high frequency range. So what is the concept behind this? And this gain is actually, if you have to be see, it decreased by the 3 dB, and where it would be decreased by the 3 dB, that particular point has been drawn. Here it is called the FL, lower cut of frequency. On the right hand side, it is again, it is called a higher cut, upper cut of frequency, FH. Concept is same. So see, everyone draw this graph actually. So three frequency range basically: low, mid band, and high. In the low frequency range, your applied frequency to the amplifier is lower than the FL, lower cut of frequency. FL means lower cut of frequency. Here FL means what? Lower cut of frequency. And the gain decreases as the frequency decreases because of coupling and bypass capacitor. So in the, if your frequency is in the low frequency range, means less than the FL, your gain would be start to decrease. and this is happens because of coupling capacitor and bypass capacitor connected in the circuit. Similarly, in the high frequency range, when your applied frequency of to the amplifier is greater than fh, your gain is again start to decrease on the right hand side of the graph, and this is because of different reason. What is the reason for this? Behind it, stray capacitances associated in the transistor amplifier, as well as the transistor internal junction capacitance. Gain would be start to decrease, and in the mid band range, your region where the coupling and bypass capacitor act as a short circuit, and stray and transistor capacitance are act as an open circuit. In this case, gain is almost constant. So you can also see from this, if you have to be see in the graph. So everyone draw this graph. This is the main description. Okay. So here we have to be define three ranges of the frequencies. When your applied frequency is less than FL, low frequency range, where your applied frequency is greater than FH, that is the high frequency range, and in between of that mid band frequency. This is decrease in gain is because of the coupling and bypass capacitor. This is because of the stray capacitance and the junction capacitance. Okay. Elements are responsible for decreasing the gain is different, but effect would be the same. Now, if you have to be see, I think all of you have drawn this diagram. Now we have to be calculate the bandwidth of this frequency response. When we are going to calculate the bandwidth of this frequency response, so what is the formula of bandwidth? Upper cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. So gain at frequency is equal to FL and gain at frequency is equal to FH. It is 3 dB less than the maximum mid-band gain. And from that particular boundary, we have to be calculate the bandwidth. So you can also see in the graph also what is the going on. This is the FL. Here, this is the point in the graph when your gain is maximum gain is here, mid-band gain. Your gain is decreased by the 3 dB. Here also your gain is decreased by the 3 dB FH, and the difference between this is called the bandwidth. Difference between both of them, FH minus FL, is called as the bandwidth. Okay. That's why if you have to be see the for an audio amplifier, generally we whatever we have to be learn in this particular subject, that all is based on the application of as a audio amplifier. So in the audio amplifier, what happens? Signal frequency is in the range of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Okay, your signal frequency would be always in the range of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Then and then only we would be able to amplify the signal properly, or sound signal actually here, because we are designing the audio amplifier. So for that, considering this point in your mind, what we have to be do? For designing a good audio amplifier, we have to be always FL must be designed less than the 20 hertz and FH must be designed greater than 20 hertz. Okay. Now, I think you are now the concept is clear. What is the frequency response and what is the range of frequency here? Now we have to be analyze this through the circuitry. So everyone draw this circuitry. First of all, you have to be draw this circuitry. Then we have to be go with this analysis. What is the FL? What is the FH? We have to be calculate and what factors are responsible. So this is the circuit diagram where we have to be show all the coupling capacitor and the bypass capacitor here. Here if you have to be see this particular diagram. So C1 and C2 is your coupling capacitor, and C1 and C2 are the coupling capacitor, and CS is your bypass. We have not shown still the junction capacitance as well as the stray capacitance and the wiring capacitance. We have to be see draw this capacitors for the high frequency response. It is a low frequency response. These three capacitors are responsible. Okay. And now I have also opened the attendance on the Google form that I have shared on your group. You can also go through that and mark your attendance. And the link would be open after 10 minutes of this lecture. Okay. So draw all of you this particular diagram. Now how many time is remaining? Okay, I think all of you have drawn. We have to basic one of the points, the effect of coupling capacitor C1. Then we have to bind up. So this the C1 is what? For the coupling capacitor between the signal source means voltage source and active device means MOSFET, it is a C1. The AC equivalent circuit would be appeared as. So from this C1, what is the frequency? Cutoff frequency determined by this particular C1 is. If you have to see the formula, this is the FL1. This is because of this component C1, 1 upon 2 pi RC. In a generally RC circuit, we have to define this time constant tau is equal to RC, and tau is nothing but the inverse of frequency. The frequency is equal to 1 upon 2 pi RC. So what is the R is here? Signal resistance plus input resistance of the amplifier. This is called the formula of the cutoff frequency determined by the coupling capacitor C1, and Ri is R1 is a voltage divider. Now, through this formula, we have to become the internal of the equivalent network determining the C1. So you have to be convert this amplifier circuit on this equivalent circuit. So in the amplifier, this is the external device, that is the input signal voltage source. This is the internal resistance of this signal generator, and this is in series with the coupling capacitor C1. And this whole right of hand of this particular coupling capacitor is amplifier section is represented by a black box, that is a system. And this system having the input resistance Ri, that is R1 parallel R2. So when this network would be formed, you can easily find out the formula of FL1, that is 1 upon 2 pi. These two resistance, this resistance are in series with the Ri, 1 upon 2 pi R signal plus Ri into C. Okay. So in this way, we have defined the formula. Okay. So typically, input resistance Ri is very much larger than the signal resistance. We have to already learn this in the last discussion. The lower cutoff frequency will be determined primarily by either of this Ri or C1. And this fact that the Ri is so large to permit a relatively low level of C1 while maintaining the lower cutoff frequency to effect. Okay. So the frequency is produced by the C1 is the FL1, 1 upon 2 pi R signal plus Ri into C. Okay, for today we have to wind up our lecture here because there is very less time is remaining. But for the next lecture, we have to start from this point and we have to see the effect of C2 and okay, thank you all of you for joining, and mark your attendance. I would be open the link for the 10 minutes after this lecture. Okay. Now, if anyone has any query regarding the topic we have discussed, whatever the timing is remaining, you can ask me. Speak. Please ask me your queries. Anyone has any issue to understanding this subject, or in any topic you are feeling difficulty, or any topic that you think that it should be revised, you can ask me. Okay. Whatever I am teaching you, every day I am uploading the lectures. You have to be follow the lecture if you are not understanding the concept on the live lecture.
सर
ओके हा या
हॅलो सर तुमचा ना आवाज आहे ना म्हणजे त्याच्या मध्ये मध्ये ना तुटतो कधी कधी
दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ
कधी रोज तुटतो कधी कधी
this is because of maybe because
नेट
of the
इश्यू असू
network
शकतो
problem. Yeah, in the some area of the department